Caner Universe, it's Caner Tip Tuesday. Hey, today we're looking at that tornado, that cane tornado, the caners. You see them out there, especially in ACSD. A lot of you doing that, but do you know what you're doing and why you're doing what you're doing? That's what I'm gonna share with you today. But before we do that, avail yourself of the two free resources. Number one is the no-cost cane clarity call. People asking, what is that all about? That is where you're gonna text the letter CCC to 305-745-7839. In less than 24 hours, my staff and I will be on a call with you, listening to you, and then laying out a blueprint on how to get cane trained right where you are, because we understand that you don't have an instructor there, right? And but we have a way of doing that effectively, efficiently, and very enjoyably right from the comfort of home, and also to answer any questions that you might have related to the cane culture. That's canes and everything else. And then the second free resource that you have is the private Facebook group. It's called CaneFlow. Move better, protect better, live better. Just request entry, they will let you right in. So a warm welcome to all. And let's take a look at that. So last week, I shared with you just something that looked like this in a CaneFlow sequence, and then that kind of a movement there. And ACSD Caner's very familiar with that. And you say, well, you know, this, some of you refer to it as a helicopter or a tornado. So I'm gonna share some things there with you. This aspect of it, I'll just reference last week's video. When you're pulling back in here, every time you're pulling back, sometimes it could be that you are, with a cane, if you will, if you made contact with something. I've often expressed, don't move, I've often expressed that this, you're not trying to play horseshoe. This is a connection point, so that if you did do a strike, when you pull, see, here you struck and here you're snagging to pull in and then strike. For example, that's that movement. This represents a cane flick, CK, not with a P, not a cane flip, which is different. But a cane flick, sometimes you have it in forms that come to the groin, sometimes higher. When you see it elevate to eye level, it's to keep somebody at bay, because you have to react to that if it's coming. If your brain is functioning properly, it happens at this level. So think of it almost like a feint, and you're keeping them back here. The backhand spin, this here, which you don't keep going. Several things it's teaching you, how to keep tight in the guard zone, and how to be effective regardless of how you have to come up with that cane. You don't always, you can't say, Mr. Bad Guy, give me a second, let me adjust my grip. However you picked up that tool, that's called kinesthetic training. I'm not gonna get into the science behind it, but that's what's there. Let's go straight to that helicopter, that tornado. First of all, it's not roping over your head. It's actually done right in front in here. And so you see it this way, 1, 2, and it needs to be high enough. And then you're stepping in with a reverse grip 1, which would be this here, tight. That is coming to the area of the clavicle. That can be knocking down a limb, yes, if it calls for it, right? A life and death scenario, and you're striking to the head, whatever the case may be. But understand that when you do this wind up, 1, 2, you're telegraphing, aren't you? I mean, I don't know about you, but if I see that coming, I'm out of here. So the first thing that it can that you would use something like this is, the first thing is, it's a warning just to back somebody up. Now, if you're explaining that to me, yeah, I get that. So you're coming in here and I start moving. See, she's forced to move back, but I know that I'm not expecting to hit her with that shot because she can see it coming. Now, in ACSD, you always hear that the cane teaches the empty hand. And so I want you to start thinking in those terms. I'm going to share this with you. This movement, you do a helicopter there, and I'm going to do it. It's just, yeah, facing there. No, here, go this way. And then I'll be right here and slow. Right, so it's 2, we do 2, so that if we're side by side, and now coming in. Now, she, for instance, in ACSD, you have in one of your forms, when you come out, you're in here, 1, 2, and then you have that step. She doesn't need to step forward like I do when I show it with the empty hand. The reason for it is because she has the natural reach, right, with that cane. Now, what it's showing you, if you see my movement with the empty hand, is again how to use the top of that form to deflect and strike. You're using both hands. That's why when you're doing it here, you're never going to catch an ACSD caner doing this. You're always going to have this. Why? Because with the empty hand, it's here as well. Here's your deflection point. Here is your strike with that empty hand. So the reason you do it 2 times in the form is it's showing you whether she's striking with her left and I come to the outside to go ahead and strike on that temporomandibular joint. I have a claw. It's an open hand system, ACSD open hand system. Now you can go ahead and claw in, and my thumb can go ahead and go right back into the eye just from this type of movement here. That's an actual shot, right? But it's showing you do it exactly the same. If she's attacking with the other hand, I don't have to switch if I'm here. It works the same to the inside. To the inside, the shot works exactly the same, whether I'm moving to the outside or whether I'm staying inside her guard because I couldn't step out, right? Maybe there's somebody else there, so I come in, boom, there it is. So it's showing you the empty hand aspect of it. It can also be applied stepping back, right? So you're familiar with the power shots. Well, power shots can be performed moving forward. They can be performed moving back. If I come in here and I expose that joint, I can come crashing on that joint, right? That is the lock. And you'll see just from putting my hand, you see the pressure that it applies there. Same thing if I come in here in the connection point. I don't always, well, she blocked here. She was good enough. Her reflexes were good. When I come down, watch what happens here with the hand. I continue to strike down. Right now I'm to the inside. From the movement of, that's why you keep it up here. That's why the movement is kept up here and you don't see it down here. At least you don't see ACSD caners. That's also why you're not looping. It's not something that comes over your head. It happens if you look at it from the side, from this point, 1, 2, and there is the strike. The strike itself, there's nothing mysterious about it. It's in ACSD, it's a PS1 that can be done either straight from that windshield when you're in here, right? That's your quick one, hammer fist. So if you were to have a tool, right, something like this, and you're coming in, boom, that's your hammer fist strike coming from there. It can also function as a palm heel shot. It can also be used to claw. Now, if you dial back and you start putting these things together, right, you start understanding. Now, look at the distance, right? It shows you to move forward. There's a movement forward and back. Why? Because in combat, you're going to have to occupy space and you're going to have to remove yourself from there. There are times to engage and there are times to safely keep your distance. Isn't that the value of this tool, right? It allows you to keep your distance if you know what you're doing and if you're trained. And speaking of getting trained, you have opportunities. Now you're going to have the last opportunity now in 2022 to get cane trained, right? With the foundational course. If you've never done any of this, you've been watching video over and over, that's not going to get you where you want to go. You're going to need structure. You're going to need something that makes sense step by step, and you're going to need a set of trained eyes, a professional giving you the support, the feedback, the accountability, and yes, the correctives that you're going to need to make this thing real. Best thing you can do, it makes a phenomenal Christmas gift. If you want to put that on your Christmas list, go ahead and just text the letters first, CCC, to 305-745-7839. Let's have a conversation, get all your questions answered, and do that before you enroll in anything, just to make sure this is for you. I'm Joe Robaina for American Cane Self-Defense. Thanks for watching. Keep caning. Stay safe.